Hi guys!
Hey everyone!
Welcome to Make 2 and a little discussion about the differences between Sims Freeplay and Sims Mobile.
Although we've seen lots of early versions of Sims Mobile, the game's only recently been released worldwide, so we finally feel it's the right time to make a video like this. Of course, the game could still change a lot in the future, but this is now the version that the game developers are letting everyone play, and we think it's fair to make the comparisons that a lot of you are probably thinking about.
So first of all, let's get one thing out of the way. Both Sims Freeplay and Sims Mobile are part of the Sims franchise, but they're mobile games. They're meant to be played on phones or tablets, so they're very different from any of the Sims games on computer or console. We sometimes get comments from people who play Sims 4 talking about how it's way better than Sims Freeplay or whatever, and I'm always like, but you're trying to compare apples and oranges? Sims 4 requires you to sit down with a powerful computer or console, which costs a lot of money to buy, and then the game and all its expansion packs and game packs and stuff packs also cost a lot of money to buy. But Sims Freeplay and Sims Mobile are games you can play totally for free on your phone or whatever mobile device you have, and you can take them anywhere you want. The sofa while watching TV, your bed before you fall asleep, school, the doctor's office, the grocery store, wherever. So let's not get into a whole discussion about the mobile versus desktop games because they're meant for different kinds of playing experiences and players. They can exist and be played side by side, and that's totally fine. I've kind of been holding back on saying all of that for a while now, sorry.
But then the question is, now that we have two mobile games for The Sims in existence, what exactly is the difference between them? Or as I reckon lots of you are asking, which one's better?
Well, first of all, the main difference for us is that as both games currently stand, Sims Freeplay is much more about creating a town full of Sims and building houses and other places for them, while Sims Mobile is much more about following one household through their careers and relationships. In this video, we're going to break it down into three areas: building, gameplay, and creating Sims. Stay tuned till the end where we'll give our final views.
Before we get into the details, the thing to remember is that both games, as we said, are free-to-play mobile games. So like most free-to-play mobile games, they take time and effort to get through all the levels and earn all the money and unlock all the things. For both games, you're not automatically going to be able to do everything they have the potential for, and sometimes you'll miss out on limited time event stuff, or you'll have to pay money to make sure you don't miss out.
And that's just because this is how the free-to-play mobile game model works right now. Mobile game developers want players to get sucked into the games, to play them every day, to play them for a long time, and occasionally to pay for stuff or to make things easier. Sims Freeplay and Sims Mobile both follow this model.
But once you've got a few days or a few weeks into each game and have gotten through a bunch of levels and unlocked more things, the differences start showing up. Let's talk about building first, since that's always been one of our main focuses on this channel. In our opinion, there's just no contest. Sims Freeplay has existed for 6 years with consistent regular updates, and at this point the building mechanics are way more powerful and interesting than Sims Mobile.
Sims Freeplay gives you the ability to build multiple floors, patios, balconies, basements, double height rooms, and pools. You can have 2 sizes of property to build on, as well as houseboats, penthouse apartments, and a private island. In a single town, you could potentially have almost 40 different properties to build on. You can also have a lot of variety in the style of your properties because there are so many different templates to choose from with their own special fences and sidewalks and landscaping. And for the building itself, the only limit you have on the number of rooms is how many you can fit into the number of squares on the property.
In Sims Mobile, you get exactly one house to build, and you can't change the look of the fence or the sidewalk. You don't have multiple floors, you don't have patios, balconies, basements, double height rooms, or pools. And you have a room limit. You start the game with a limit of 3 rooms for your house. But even after playing for a long time and leveling up, you'll still hit a limit of 12 rooms for your house. Not only that, you have to level up a lot and earn a lot of currency just to clear out more space on your property for those rooms.
You can do some customizing of workplaces in Sims Mobile by unlocking special decorations and furniture for the workplace theme, but you can't change anything structural like the walls or floors or doors or windows, so it's much closer to redecorating than building in a creative way.
We also don't really like the way the build-buy mode works in Sims Mobile, because in our opinion the screen interface on a phone isn't really user-friendly. The different categories of the home store aren't as compact and streamlined in their appearance or their organisation either. So it feels like it takes a lot more tapping and scrolling and fiddling to find what you want.
So yeah, Building in these games is just completely different, and we, as avid builders, much prefer Sims Freeplay on this point. We've seen so many amazing and inspiring builds in Sims Freeplay, so we can only hope that one day building in Sims Mobile will be even half as powerful and interesting, because building has always been a huge feature of the Sims franchise in general, and it's sad that this new game misses out.
One thing we can say we enjoy a whole lot more about Sims Mobile is just straight up gameplay. In Sims Freeplay, so much of the actual gameplay experience is structured around quests or hobbies or events, and every task takes real time, usually hours. You could end up dedicating multiple Sims to tasks that can take 2, 6, 10 hours, and sometimes more than 20 hours.
And since you're usually only given a limited number of days to finish a quest or a hobby or an event to win the special prize, you've got to carefully keep track of your game so you can open it at the right time to move on to whatever the next task is. And not everyone can do that because real life is busy and gets in the way of video games. Basically, Sims Freeplay takes grinding and often strategic grinding, but Sims Mobile is taking a really different approach.
Yeah, the awesome thing about Sims Mobile is that the individual tasks don't take hours. In fact, they usually take just seconds to complete. And so far, as of the day we're publishing this video, you don't really have to worry about finishing anything in a certain time limit or a certain number of days. You can just open your game whenever you want, play until your Sims run out of energy, and then put the game away until you're ready to play again. It feels like you have way more control over your gameplay experience, because you're not working against the clock, and you're able to make your Sims do a lot of cute actions in a short period of time, whether it's taking them to work or socializing.
So if your favorite thing about the Sims games is playing with the Sims like little dolls and making up stories about them, then Sims Mobile would definitely be more your kind of game than Sims Freeplay. The main drawback about that for us, however, is that, like we said earlier, in Sims Mobile you only get to control one household of Sims, and right now you're also limited about the number of Sims you can play. Only 4 adult Sims. Your actual household can have more Sims than that, as well as Sims of different ages like children and seniors, but out of the whole household you'll only be able to control 4 adult Sims. And even then, the 3rd and the 4th Sim will need to be unlocked with currency in the game.
Sims Freeplay, on the other hand, lets you control a lot more Sims. It depends on what level you're at, but right now, at the highest level in the game, you can control something like 34 Sims. And if you pay real money, you can unlock a few more. You can control Sims of different ages besides adult, like baby, toddler, preteen, teen, and senior. And you can also have multiple households and families. And there are also pets! Sims Mobile doesn't have pets yet. So all of this means you can create something that feels a lot more like a real town, and it also gives you more options for storytelling, if you don't mind having every task take real time.
But on the other hand, Sims Mobile helps the town feel more real and way more alive by having lots of non-player Sims walking around. These are Sims created randomly by the game or by other players who show up in different places like the sidewalk in front of your house, or the workplaces, or the park. Your Sims can interact with those other Sims and can create relationships with them and have social events with them. Sims Freeplay doesn't really have that ability. Usually, anytime you see a non-player Sim in Sims Freeplay, it's for a quest which is totally controlled by the game, so it doesn't really help with storytelling or making the town feel real, in our opinion.
The other main thing Sims Mobile does better, we think, is create a Sim, but only if you're talking about facial features and body shapes. We've done a couple of videos walking through Create a Sim, and we think it's pretty clear that you're able to customize your Sim in some crazy powerful and detailed ways. It's awesome that we have so much control over everything from a Sim's nose profile to their shoulder width. And we can have Sims of different weights as well, where you, the player, get to decide where that weight shows up on their body.
You can't have any of that in Sims Freeplay, where all the Sims in each age category of each gender are shaped exactly the same. But on the other hand, because the game is a lot older than Sims Mobile, they've been able to add many more options for hairstyles and clothing over the years.
There are of course a lot more differences between both games, and also a lot of similarities. For instance, both games offer the ability to visit the towns of your friends and social media connections, although in our opinion visiting Sims Freeplay friends is more interesting than visiting Sims Mobile friends because of all the building stuff we talked about earlier. And also, as we said, both games require you to level up and earn currency to unlock most of the really cool content.
If we kept talking about the similarities and differences, this video would get way too long. We think we've talked enough about the main points where we'd compare the two games, so let's get to the bottom line. Each game offers something the other one doesn't, and it's really up to you as a player what kinds of things you want out of your own Sims experience. We've obviously been playing Sims Freeplay a lot longer, and we definitely plan to keep playing it, but we're excited to get deeper into Sims Mobile because it's such a different kind of game for us and it's enjoyable in different ways. So there's space for both on our phones and in our hearts. That's enough about what we think. We're really curious to know what you guys think. Do you have a favorite? How many of you are going to keep playing both?